Good afternoon, everyone. Hello, can I see a wave, please? Make sure you're all awake and alive and listening to me. Okay, so I'm going to talk very briefly about Promo-Steem to give you an update, but I want to focus mostly on Oracle D because that's where we've been spending a lot of our time on recently. So, for those of you that don't know, I'll just get this up on the screen. So, Promo-Steem is an initiative to promote the blockchain by using Steemians and their resources and talents. A lot of you sitting here at the moment are involved in that initiative as well. The idea is that we have a pot of Steem that is delegated to by some fantastic Steemians who are also in the room. Thank you very much. And that is then distributed to Steemians who are promoting Steem. It uses a mechanism called multi-proof of brain, which requires multiple, we call them oracles, to vote on content that is then agreed between, I think it's 3 is the threshold, any more than 3 that vote, and the new money gets created and sent to the person doing the promotion of the Steem blockchain. So that's kind of decided on by 68 or 69 Steem ambassadors who are elected by the community. So it's a very, very distributed and accountable mechanism for distributing rewards on the Steem blockchain for something that I think is very valuable for all of us, because as long as people are promoting Steem, we all benefit, right? So it's a very important topic. So this year, we rolled out the ambassador program, which I just mentioned. We've got just under 70 ambassadors. Those people are elected by the community, and they are also unelectable by the community. So they're accountable, and we try to keep a track on their statistics to make sure they're active, and they're actively involved in the Promo-Steem community. We've just done our first distribution of Steem to our delegators and to our Steem ambassadors, so they all get a little bit of the curation rewards. We take nothing, it's not for profit. So that's all kind of moving along very nicely. MPOB I've just mentioned, it's a really, really cool way to distribute Steem on the Steem blockchain with multiple oracles voting. So it's very, very hard to corrupt. It is corruptible, but if it becomes corrupt, you can either increase the amount of oracles or remove some of them that are behaving in a corrupt way. And I'll show you in a bit that MPOB, multi-proof of brain, has so many applications in the real world that I hope it kind of blows your mind. It certainly blows mine. Delegation we mentioned. I'd like to give a shout out to Flory. Thank you very much. He's in charge of the one-up campaign where we're distributing tokens. So we're hopeful that will inject an even more passionate use of the Promo-Steem community's efforts by distributing some of the one-up tokens to those guys. So thank you very much, Flory. We'll hopefully have about 3 million tokens to do that with. I could have said we'll have 5, right? No, I'm joking. We'll hopefully have 3 million tokens to distribute. And what we're doing in Promo-Steem, we try to keep it professional. So we've got a very clear procedure as to how we're going to do that. We're working that out with Flory at the moment. And then once that's done, we'll make it public so everyone can see how they can earn one-up tokens in a way that helps people promote the Steem blockchain. Steem Blast, you may all be aware. Is anyone in the room called Jeff? Anyone called Jeff? Do you all know about the Jeff story? Well, it didn't trend at SteemFest then. So we got involved with Oracle D and Promo-Steem to promote the Steem coin on net. What was it called? Netcoins, right? They're an exchange. They've got a lot of distribution places around the world, and they did a competition to say whoever gets the most votes gets listed for free on Netcoins, which is worth about $30,000. And we did it. We did it in a week. We blasted it out. We got like 22,000 votes from the Steem blockchain. There's a great meme going around because the guy that listed it wants to stay anonymous, so we won't say who he is, but his first name is Jeff. So there was like a bit of a fault in the platform, and every single vote that happened, the name Jeff came up. So basically all the Steemians involved, obviously none of you lot, were called Jeff. So we were all going around saying each other was called Jeff. It was fantastic. Bit of fun, but we won it. So fantastic. We saved Steem $30,000. We probably distributed about $4,000 worth of Steem to reward people for taking part. So it was very economically positive. And now we're listed on Netcoins. So London Cryptocurrency Show. Some of you have been involved in this. We had a massive collection of Steemians where we were given a platform at the London Cryptocurrency Show. And instead of just taking that platform to ourselves, we let a few of the big projects come along, give them a stage in front of a load of investors to talk about their projects, right? And I think this is the nature of the Steem community. We have the ability to draw on each other's resources. Why talk about myself too much when there's so many other projects around? So we did that at the London Cryptocurrency Show. Really, really successful event. We had something like $5 million worth of Steem in the room. And we had 50 different Steemians from about 30 different countries. It was absolutely crazy. And the best thing about it was, and this is how powerful Steem is, the two stands either side of the Steem stand, They had no business all day because we constantly had 50 Steemians outside the Steem stand, and it was just creating a massive buzz at the event. So I'd like to try and see us all organize more of that in the Steem community as we do more events. It's certainly possible. Borneo Blockchain Summit, BitRocker 2020 is one of the most amazing Promo-Steemians. And he organized the whole summit. A lot of it was based on the Steem blockchain. And so that kind of all kicked off there. Really good cred to him. Again, all supported by the Steem Ambassador multi-proof of brain voting system. And then Dreams of the Ocean, Surfer Marley, he's here. He's BitRocker here, by the way. I can't see him anywhere. He's definitely in the room somewhere. He's down there, is he? Tell him that I mentioned his name then. And Surfer Marley for Dreams of the Ocean, she did a great charity event in the Canarians, where basically she taught a load of young kids how to surf and swim. And there was sort of Promo-Steem banners everywhere, other sponsors banners everywhere. It was a real good example of how you can use the Steem blockchain to leverage it and make the most out of it and help disadvantaged people to learn new things. So that was really cool as well. So can we have a quick round of applause for that, please? It's really awesome. Thank you. So just show you a few photos. This is a Borneo Blockchain Summit. This is what Dreams of the Ocean look like. That was our stand at the Promo-Steem stand. There's a few people here who I've said they're natural-born stand builders. They really got involved and helped out, and thanks very much for that. But that stand was the first time we'd ever done anything like that, and it was a bit crazy and ridiculous, but we had a good time. And then those are some of the Steemians that were there. It was brilliant, absolutely brilliant event. Great sign of what Steem can be. Okay, so that's kind of the Promo-Steem stuff that I want to focus on. There's so much more, and I know there's a lot of people that are working all around the world on Promo-Steem to try and promote the Steem blockchain. Please delegate to it. I don't make any money from it. It's all for the community. You will get a return of 85% of the curation rewards, and 15% goes to the ambassadors to help them, incentivize them to stay involved. Yeah, please delegate to that. It's going to help everyone. You know, if they can promote the Steem blockchain and get funded for it, then we all win, right? So on to what Oracle D is doing. We basically took the concept of multi-proof of brain, and we started to think, how can we apply this to commercial situations, right? How can we actually make a profit off this and put money into the Steem blockchain to attract investment and serve clients for getting people to do tasks? So multi-proof of brain, how does it work? You get your client to hold Steem, or in this case, with the Steem Ambassador program, we all hold Steem collectively in a delegated pot. A task is published on our platform, very simple, and that task could be a service for a client, or it could be any range of different things that a client would be happy to pay for. Users complete the task. Oracle D, oracles review what was done and upvote the task. And then new Steem is created and rewarded from the main pot into the user's wallet. Okay? Dead simple model, but it has so many applications, it's really mind-blowing. And the whole point behind this was, how do we change the culture in Steem, right? How do we get Steemians to start thinking about a sustainable Steem price? And one of the ways that you can do that is using a similar model to this. I mean, we don't own this, right? This is for any of you to use. We don't care. Go ahead and build your own business off this model. It's dead simple. But the idea is that what you're going to end up with is more investors holding money, and we'll distribute less Steem to the users doing the tasks. So as a result, you have a net gain, a net demand for the Steem price. And this is incredibly important because at the moment, a lot of Steem is about distributing money. And we're really good at it, right? We've got great mechanisms built in where we can distribute money for all sorts of things. But there's very few people talking about how do we get investors to hold Steem and use that Steem to do tasks. And once collectively as a community we start thinking in that way, there is a possibility for the Steem price to grow massively, because we're going to start having mechanisms in place where clients are served for holding more Steem than we actually distribute to the users doing the tasks. And that Steem that's left over gets powered up and it creates a net demand on the Steem price. And then instead of us all getting poor together over the last few months like we've done, we can hopefully get rich together, or at least make a sustainable community where the price is gradually growing. So this is the basic model that we use, and it just kind of allows people to hold Steem, create new Steem, and get tasks done. And whatever those tasks are is whatever your clients want them to be. So let's jump on to the next slide. So multi-proof of brain benefits. So you can incentivize people to perform real tasks in the real world. And the only way that you can make that work is by having an oracle who reviews that task and confirms it's good. Now, the oracle has to have a reputation on the blockchain. They have to be reputed people. The idea is with multi-proof of brain, you have multiple oracles reviewing, so it's more difficult to corrupt. It's still not perfect, but as far as I can tell, anything that isn't digital data that you're building onto a blockchain that isn't digital already, it's very difficult to fully decentralize. So this model kind of solves that in the real world. It's not digital data you're dealing with, it's real data. But oracles, and the more oracles you have, can reduce the amount of corruption in that and kind of be the mechanism through which that work is rewarded. Another selling point from us with our clients is the more Steem that you hold, the less you have to pay. So when I go and talk to a client, I can tell a client maybe we're going to do a social media campaign for them for 1 month at $3,000 or something, right? It's in the current paradigm, it's a spend and loss. So you spend that money, you never see it again, but you get your campaign done. With Steem, the more Steem that the client holds, the more new currency they can generate, right, and distribute as rewards. So let's say they held $120,000. In my calculations as of today, that would generate around about $3,000 worth of Steem a month, right? So now I can say to my clients, if you hold $120,000 worth of Steem, all of our activities are free. You just get it for free. You just hold and you don't spend any more, right? Well, this is it's a complete paradigm shift in the world, because now we have, with the Steem blockchain, we have this ability to ask clients to hold and create instead of spending and losing, right? And it takes a little while to get through to the clients' heads, but it's a massive thing. Once they realize, it's like, okay, so if I hold more Steem, I get more tasks done for free. Or if I hold $50,000 worth of Steem and I want to do something that's $3,000, I've got to pay $1,500 in order to keep the Steem price sustainable, right? So that's what we try to sell to our clients. So now, okay, they might not be able to afford to hold $120,000 worth of Steem. Maybe they can hold $50,000, but now they can get the same task done at half the price they would have paid in the traditional paradigm of spend and loss, right? This is a massive selling point for this model, and all of you can use it, right, to bring new clients in. Complete transparent fund distribution. So there's so many people in the world with things like the Red Cross and all these corrupt things that have happened in charities. There's an amazing ability now with the Steem blockchain for us to allow clients to distribute funds transparently, so everyone can see where the funds went, everyone can see it's transparent, everyone can see how much money is created, who did the best, and et cetera, et cetera. And then we can hold people to account as well. So that's an absolutely amazing property of the Steem blockchain. Reward innovation and change culture. Hopefully I'm changing a little bit of the culture in the Steem blockchain by this very talk. I really hope that we can all start thinking of how we can make the Steem price sustainable by bringing more investment in from clients and distributing less money than we bring in. The other thing is that can be used in businesses to incentivize innovation. I don't want to go into too many details about it, but we all know that within a company, you have little people that build little empires inside the company and they keep the information to themselves. Well, what if that company held something like Steem, or maybe even Steem itself, and then they could incentivize their employees to publicly share their information on the blockchain, and then reward the community itself, could reward the most innovative work. So now you have less empires built, you have more sharing in the company, and more efficient work going on. And I think the obvious, changing the way physical and virtual communities operate, I think that's fairly obvious. So let's give you some examples. So this is a campaign we're currently running at the moment called the Andre Gray Football Academy. Andre Gray is a Premiership footballer. He plays for Watford United. He's a striker. He's doing quite well this season, actually. And what we're doing for him is allowing him to create a training program for anyone in the world to use. It's very simple. I wish I'd have bought a football, but I'd probably have embarrassed myself in my football skills. But he basically, simple passing, heading the ball, chesting the ball, controlling the ball. These types of drills he's done on video. And any Steemian, it's only for Steemians at the moment, but we're expanding it out as we move forwards to non-Steemians. And that could be an amazing viral opportunity for the Steem blockchain to get new users. But for any Steemian, you can go on, you can copy these drills, you can post a video, and if our curators think it's a good video and it shows you improving your football skills, and you say thanks very much to Andre, right? That's really important. Then you'll get an upvote, right? So now you can incentivize people, particularly in developing countries where maybe they don't have a football pitch or where they don't have a football net or any kit, right? You can get young kids, maybe 13 to 15 years old, disadvantaged places. You can get videos of them creating a training program and executing it under Andre's name, the footballer's name, and reward them with small rewards from the Steem blockchain. Eventually, they might be able to buy their own kit, buy their own football, equipment and things like that. So this is an amazing opportunity for the Steem blockchain to be utilized. It's a very, very simple model. You appreciate. Hold Steem, the task gets done, new Steem gets distributed to the person that did the task. So in this case, it's a football academy. And that's great for Andre as a footballer, because now he's got a load of people on the internet saying, thanks very much, Andre, for your support. And he can transparently show where the funds came from. So hopefully in his next football transfer, that's another $1 million onto the top of his price, right? So everyone gains commercially, hopefully. So I'll just run you through that. Client holds Steem. Drills are released in the videos. The users make their own videos. The oracles review. And then if the oracle says it's a good video, the Steem gets distributed to the person making the video. Dead simple model. Any of you can use it. I think we put it together in about 250 lines worth of code. So bring it on. I want to, imagine when his teammates start to see this is happening, and their girlfriends and et cetera, right? There's some serious money we're looking at there. Holiday bookings. So here you have the customer. There you have the holiday company, and there you have Steem and what Oracle D would build. But again, any of you guys can build this on the Steem blockchain. It doesn't need to be Oracle Ds. Customer books a holiday, right? He says it's really, really good, nice holiday. And then the company can reward that customer with Steem, right? Dead simple. All that has to happen is that the customer holds Steem, right? And again, with holiday companies, there's more iterations of this where if the customer blogs about the fact that they had a great holiday, right, and they put all the photos on, and we post that to the client's website, then you get a slightly bigger reward. If you press a button on the client interface that shares it automatically to your Facebook and your other social media, another reward, right? So the rewards can all mount up, and we're talking about rewards of varying between 5 cents per customer to like $5 if they do a fuller blog. In different countries, that's worth a lot of money, and there's potentially lots of traffic that can be generated to clients and their best users. Humanitarian funding. So we all know the Red Cross built 5 houses with $500 million, right? That was a really good achievement, but it's put a lot of people off investing in charities and sending money to charities. So here you can transparently fundraise on the Steem blockchain, as long as you get the CEO of the charity to kind of make it a genuine thing, and you're not just sending, don't encourage people to send their money to random accounts. It's happened, we all know it. So you get the fund, the fund holding for the aid, and then you get local people. So basically the local people are enlisted, so you don't have to wait for NGOs to come to a disaster zone. The local people, the local knowledge can come, they can be accountable on the Steem blockchain, and they can start talking about where funds are required in a humanitarian disaster or program. Other local oracles, and these people can be elected if we wish. They come check that work was done properly, or check that the need for the funding is there. And it can be multiple oracles, so it's a multiple proof of brain, more difficult to corrupt. And then the funding is released from the charitable pot here, right? And then the work can get done. So there's the money being released. Dead simple. So let's take a look at this with a more practical application. So you've got an earthquake zone, the internet goes out. So how do we get internet back across the area? We put some drones in and build a net. And they can do proof of life, right? So they can go and ping people's telephones and find out if there's life there. But on top of that, the multi-proof of brain program can be used here to get oracles on the ground and actually distribute funding to the location using this net, right? You get people on their telephones, and you can get them with Steem accounts, and you can use the multi-proof of brain oracles to say, yes, funding is required here, send the money, right? So where you get earthquakes, for example, in places like Indonesia, where a lot of you know we've been doing a lot of work recently, this is a practical application. People are looking at this and going, wow, we can actually do something with this, yeah? I don't know how perfect it will be, but it's something we're going to develop and see what we can achieve. I mentioned before corporate innovation. So the corporate client holds Steem. The employee has an idea and shares it. The community agrees that it's a valuable thing, and then the client's pot sends some Steem to that employee. Or maybe it's a reputation system, but it's the same type of model, right? So just a few more things about multi-proof of brain. Asset reviewing engine. So we're working with a hedge fund at the moment to build an engine to allow Steemians to voluntarily come, prove that they're capable to review ICOs or review assets, and put that onto the fact that they've done that work onto the blockchain and use the blockchain as a mechanism to receive rewards for having done that work. So you don't necessarily have to put the actual work on the blockchain, but you can keep the work private, and you can get the client to vote for work that was done and use the Steem blockchain as a mechanism to reward the fact that work was done. Again, beta testing, software engineering activities. One of the things we're looking at is how to use the Steem blockchain to list actual stockpiles of actual commodity that's grown locally and create a futures market that's backed by the actual product rather than by whoever can print the most dollars, as we know goes on in the current paradigm. And then quality assurance checking. So we're talking to a client at the moment about, he has a lot of code being developed, and he doesn't want to necessarily hire a whole team of QA/QC people, but he's suffering from the fact that he doesn't have QA/QC. So couldn't we get developers from the Steem blockchain to go and voluntarily log into that interface and get rewarded in Steem for going and checking the code of the client? Right, so this is another way the client is then encouraged to hold Steem and distribute it to the people that find the best bugs inside or should I say the worst bugs, inside the software that they're developing. So on to the last little part of this presentation. Some of you may know that recently we went to Indonesia. This wonderful lady here is called Mariska Lubis. She's a long-term Steemian, but she's kept a very low profile on Steem, and she's been looking for different projects that may be able to help the situation in Indonesia. She is incredibly well connected in Indonesia. This guy's one of the biggest businessmen in Indonesia. This guy is the Minister for Commerce. This guy's advised 4 presidents in Indonesia. I don't know who this guy is. This guy runs the association in Jakarta. He's a very influential person, who's on TV all the time. And this is our CTO, Dylan Leighton, or anarcotech. And this is an MOU that we signed to agree to do blockchain education in Indonesia. And Mariska basically put it all together. It's really cool. Thank you. So this has resulted in us, part of the MOU is that we're going to develop this into, as far as I can tell, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I couldn't see anywhere else, it's the world's first institute for blockchain technology. So it's the Indonesian Blockchain Technology Institute, IBTI, and within that we're going to have a chartership program where people can become chartered blockchain technicians or chartered blockchain business people, so they understand these models. And the idea being that, you know, we don't know what a country like Indonesia needs, right? But we do know how the business models work, and we do know how to educate people in the code. I'm not a coder personally, but and I know that I'm not going to be able to do this on my own, right? I'm going to be looking at the rest of the Steem community, right, and asking people to come and help out. Hopefully, we'll all get paid for it because it'll be a national program, and we'll be able to share each other's knowledge and expertise and divulge that knowledge into the community of Indonesia, into the students in that country. The guy here, this gentleman, Professor Laude, he's the dean of 4,800 universities in Indonesia. So this is going to happen. It's really amazing. And the politics in Indonesia are currently at the right kind of instability, where people are asking for transparency, they're asking for anti-corruption, and the Steem blockchain, if we build it properly, has the ability to provide that. So it's ripe. It really is ripe to implement blockchain into that country. So this is how it looks, basically. You have the stakeholders on the side here, the educators, the students. We're going to educate a local facilitator with probably about 20 people who will become experts in delivering this information. We'll get a platform set up so it's in Indonesian. And then then those people will go and liaise with the universities themselves and tailor individual programs, because some universities are more tailored toward business, some universities are arts-based, some universities are software development-based. So we'll tailor the programs and share that information between the community. Again, we're looking for help from you guys as well. You know, there's no way I can do all of this myself, right? We want to draw on the knowledge of the Steem community and let people bring their own expertise and help people in Indonesia understand how they can do those little skills that you guys have got on the blockchain, and then allow them to build their own businesses. And then finally, I mean, you can read all this stuff here, but the main thing that I think is very interesting is you'll have the Steem blockchain, we'll register the certificates on the blockchain, the chartership status will be on the blockchain, and of course the applications to chartership will be there. So it's just a massive, great use of the Steem blockchain, and you know, I think you're all with me in saying that I love what this blockchain can do and what it potentially can become. And we have this opportunity now over the next few years, all of us in this room, to shape the way this blockchain looks and build it ethically and allow people like the Indonesian community to understand the methods. All right, we don't have to dictate anything to them, but allow them enough so that they can build their own solutions to their own businesses. And hopefully, obviously educate them in other blockchains as well, but hopefully they'll be more geared towards using the Steem blockchain, which is a fantastic opportunity for all of us. So I think that's basically it. Let me just, that's my contact details. If any of you want to drop an email to any of us, you're more than welcome. And thank you very much for your attention. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much for the very, very interesting speech. I think this is something where we see many projects coming out of it. Very, very interesting. And normally I would stop you 5 minutes ago, but it was so interesting and everybody was listening. So lucky you.
Thank you.
I
knew I ran over.
I tried to send you all the signs, but you ignored them. Anyway, we have another very interesting speech, so don't run away. The next speech will be here in 2 minutes. The guys are already set up. So thank you, Matt.
Thank you. Thanks for your attention.
You are around the next days, and I guess you will have plenty of talks.
Hopefully so. Welcome to come talk. I want to get all of your ideas and make them happen if we can. Thank you.